posted. Yeah. And then we look at Nieva. So this is a nature and a dominion. So basically, nature and dominion. So once you learn more about the aspects, the first thing I see here is that's an elf-centric deck. Nature is elves, dominion has a lot of elves. So they mesh together really well. So vampire elves, basically. Reverence is actually the deck I'm featuring. This is the hero I'm featuring tomorrow on tomorrow's YouTube video. So you guys make sure you check that out and follow us on YouTube. Subscribe, all the good stuff. Because Reverence does some crazy plays. You can draw 4, 5, 6 turns. So I'm actually going to go with Niena because I haven't done a lot of nature trials runs. I know I can do 10 with Zash, so we're not going to do that. This is kind of a poor hero skill, so I'm not really going to look at that, even though that matchup isn't the worst as far as those two aspects. This has a lot of potential for some synergy, plus a ton of card draw, so we're going to go with Niena. Now, we have to remember that we immediately are going to require 2 nature levels. So anything like a Blood Bowl Matriarch, I'm going to break the rule because Dominion has so many good, basically 3-level or 4-level cards. We're talking Karthus, we're talking Drela. Drela, of course, as you've just seen, is amazing value. So we may actually have to wind up going very controlling on this, which is kind of counterintuitive to the elf, to the nature side of the deck. But things like Blood Bowl Matriarch are amazing. Then there's Niena, Legendary Storyteller, which allows us to play elves off the top of our deck. Call of Jalea is awesome. These are all really good cards, actually. This is kind of a hard pick. Karthus, Matriarch, So-So. Thanks, Possum. Yes, it is a rule of thumb, but every rule has an exception, right? We all know that. There are, and really the exception is centered around the Dominion aspect because of cards like Karthus and Drela. Unless you have, the Dominion hero to start off with. Matriarch is good. How are you guys feeling about Niena, though? I'm gonna go with Matriarch, actually. And that locks us in for 4 levels right away. The reason why is because Niena actually gives your opponent an advantage too, because he can see the top card in your deck as well. So something to consider. Sell to Slavery is a nice card, but we don't know if we need it yet, and I try to stay away from hero skills, advanced hero skills, until I know that I can actually use them, unless it's something like Vampirism, which is awesome. Elf Commander is going to be the pick here. It's a 2/3, it's a fat bottom. Those of you who are new to the show, I call these fat bottoms when they have more health and attack. It's a 3-speed, and it makes all their elves unblockable, so we're definitely going to choose that one. Jungle Deathtrap is good. Summoner Druid is also really good as well. So Summoner Druid, along with our Niena the Revered, there's actually 2 different ways for us to drop cards quickly. Primordial Treant. Yeah, that's not the best. I think this is kind of a low-tier card for Trials. Yeah, I agree, Morinjal. The Niena is actually better in Constructed because they only work for elves. Yep. Jungle Deathtrap or Summoner Druid. I think Jungle Deathtrap. I'm really leaning towards that. Because the problem is Summoner Druid is great until he runs out of power. Then what the hell do you do with him? If you can bounce Summoner Druid, then you can play him again. But you put him on the front line and he's a 1/1. It does allow you to ramp. Let's go with Jungle Deathtrap. Let's go with some value cards first. Storm Fairy. Oh, this is a hard decision. This is a very hard decision. I think I'm going to go with Haldari Rider because it's a 3/3 and it's Swift. So here's something that I noticed in Trials. If you have the ability to choose elves, choose the fast elves. Choose the 3 and 4 speed elves. They're very hard to deal with. I would love to go with Storm Fairy. It's an amazing card, but Haldari Rider is a 3/3 with a 3 speed and she's Swift. This is one of our late game cards. This will come in handy very, very well. So we're going to have to go with that one. Chalice can be good. Kind of situational. Swiftblade Assassin is probably going to be the pick I'm leaning towards. Power Seeker is nice, but it's a late game finisher. It is a 3-speed though, and it is an elf. And we do have an elf commander. This is an elf mercenary. I think I might go with Power Seeker actually, now that I think about it. Because it's a 3-speed, but it's a finisher. I don't need, I have... Swiftblade Assassin The only downside is it costs me 1 mana to keep him on the board, but it's ranged. I think this is a better value card. As much as I like this, it's another big finisher along with a Hardari Rider, and we can't focus too much on the finishers. We got to make sure that we've got a solid, early mid game as well. So we've got our Jungle Death Trap, early game, Elf Commanders kind of mids. Yeah, we'll go with the Swiftblade Assassin on this one. Power Seeker is also easy to remove as well. So it's Karthus. You got to pick Karthus. Yeah, absolutely. Especially in that matchup, it's going to be Karthus every time. Tornado is interesting. Moon Priestess is actually really good because it allows us to essentially get an extra mana. And then Silverblade Warrior. I think I might go with Silverblade over Moon Priestess. Is that crazy? This is a good card, though. Gives you extra mana. So let's look at our drops. If we start with Dominion, we essentially need 3 mana. If we start with Nature, we need 2. And that's expensive, and that's expensive. I think we're going to go with the Moon Priestess on this one. The mana drain on Swiftblade Assassin is a little bit of a downside, but that's because it's range 3/2. It's a good card, so. So Spellweaver says Tornado. Interesting. Why would you say Tornado? I'm trying to think of situations where... So it would absolutely be a great removal for big creatures is something we don't have an answer to. It does only put it back to your owner's hand. So we're going to see that creature again. It doesn't remove them. Although... we could actually bounce Karthus on this one. Someone help. Yeah, so actually, Spellweaver, while you're saying that, I looked down and I'm like, wait a minute, I can bounce Karthus. Let's try that. Let's see if we can get... okay, so now I definitely take Moon Priestess, although Ambushing Strike is kind of nice. I think Moon Priestess in this case. Yeah, I think Tornado is going to be a good pick. I'm going to go with Moon Priestess on this one. Landslide is actually good. Elven Sanctuary. We do have an Elf Commander, a Haldari Rider, a Moon Priestess. Well, actually, she won't be attacking. Swiftblade Assassin is an Elf. Bloodbow Matriarch is a Naga. I want to build a Naga deck. Show me more Nagas, man. That's what I want. Naga Power. So Elven Sanctuary could potentially help. Swiftblade Assassin is probably going to be the pick, though. It's another creature. It's a good solid that gives us 2, so we can draw into him. Landslide is a... yeah, Wasp Swarm is good, but... and I watched it in Constructed, it was awesome. But I don't think in Trials it's going to be as good. It just buys you time. So the thing about Trials is you don't want to play too many passive buy you time cards. You still want to be able to, move the board along with tempo. I don't know about this one. I think I'm going to go with Swiftblade Assassin on this. We have a Moon Priestess to kind of help pay for that. Although, you know what? I'm going to go with Landslide. I can remove artifacts, creatures, or spells. I don't know. You guys need to help me decide on this one. Swiftblade Assassin or Landslide. Man, these are tough picks. So here's the thing. We're looking at a control deck. So... we have to go late game. Alright. Oh, Ancient Treant is actually great. Gnome Surgeon is right out because we don't have any implants yet, and we're not going to probably draw into too many implants. Nienna, again, only works with elves, although, now that we have a lot of elves, it actually works a little bit better and looks a little bit more in our favor. But Ancient Treant allows the an enemy creature's speed becomes 0 until the next controller's turn. So as long as Ancient Treant is not removed, every turn he can effectively render one creature on your opponent's side 0, which means they're useless. And he can do that every turn, cycle it again and again and again. I love Treant too as well. Swiftblade multi-effective. If you get a Cataclysm, you can free bounce Swiftblade. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by free bouncing a Swiftblade with Cataclysm. Are you saying you attack with Swiftblade first and then Cataclysm? And don't pay for him so he bounces back? Grove Guardian is our drop, our turn 1 drop. Storm Fairy. Storm Fairy is another bounce mechanic. We might be building a bouncy deck. Yeah, you don't pay the cost. Okay, I see what you're saying there. He goes to hand. Do we want to build a rubber deck? I didn't say rubber dick, I said rubber deck. Storm Fairy, it bounces. Grove Guardian is okay. We have so many... He's easy to remove. Might Extortion is nice. We get to see what's in his hand. Storm Fairy is so good, though. What do we have early game? I'm still concerned about early game. She's a fairy, so she doesn't count as far as elves go. Do we... what do we really need to bounce, though? Not that much. On our side, so we'd have to bounce something back to his hand. Let's go with Storm Fairy. I think I see a little bit more value. Bloodseeking Mutant I like. I do like Bloodseeking Mutant. It is expensive though. Our deck is becoming very expensive. I think we're gonna Mind Extortion just so I can get a little intel on his hand. Oh, okay. Elf Scout, Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter's good card. This is a quality card because it's ranged and swift. The only good thing about the Elf Scout in Trials is it's untouchable, man. If they gotta have a direct spell to remove it, they can't touch that 4-speed. So Silverblade Warrior actually in this case is the worst pick out of the 3. So we've got a lot of ranged. Interesting. I think we're gonna go with Ambushing Sharpshooter in this case. However, what can I buff Elf Scout with? 10, 11, 12. I'm actually going to go for an early drop with an Elf Scout. I'm going to run the risk of being able to buff that Elf Scout a little bit and kind of get a little bit extra. Haldari Rider is definitely going to work over both of these. Cathedral of the Night. Oh, or Vampirism. Vampire Elves. Ah, I need both of these. Fae of Charm is okay in Trials, but she does not work as well as Cathedral of the Night or Vampirism. Man, it's gotta be Vampirism. It's gotta be Vampirism. Ugh, I want that Cathedral of the Night so bad. Okay, so Elf Warrior, Elven Skyrider. Elf Warrior is actually better than Elven Skyrider only because it cost 1 less. She's flying, so that's cool. It sits on the support line, a little bit harder to target, but this is just an earlier drop. However, we got Shadow Step Assassin, which is something to consider. Although our early game, it looks like we're starting off with nature for the most part. Yeah, Fae with Chalice works really well. Deadly Winds is, yeah, this is... I'm going to try to balance out Dominion a little bit. Brother in Arms is not good. Not good at all. So another Ambushing Sharpshooter. Devious Plot is not something to consider. Vegetation Blockade. Wow. I don't really want that. Hypnotizing Whispers. Sell to Slavery. What could I sell to Slavery? Well, I have Bloodwell Mate. No. I don't want that. I guess it's going to be Hypnotizing Whispers. Elven Sanctuary or Landslide. Elven Sanctuary actually helps me buff all of my elves at this point. Landslide is really good for removing cards, however. I'm concerned about... I don't have any artifact or spell removal at this point. I don't have any unicorns. So I think I have to take Landslide just simply to have something, as much as I like Elven Sanctuary. Or can I just work around... Alright, I'm gonna go with the... Oh, it's a tough decision. The cooldown is 3. It's too much. Let's go with Landslide. Another Elf Scout. Grappling Hook is interesting. Another Elf Scout. I'm going to go with the speed. Go with the speed. Ambushing Strike over Thunderstorm Titan. Not doing Spoiled Aristocrat because it's too hard to activate, to trigger. Ambush Strike. Ambush Strike is a really good card. Really, really quality card. I don't think I need any more late game right now, so let's go with Ambush Strike for a little early removal. Did I just get another one? Or a Tornado? I'm gonna pick 2 of these. Hell yeah. What's going on? Whoa, I gotta stop. Hold on. What? Is it not cycling? And is that... maybe they need a graphic to show me, because these 2 cards didn't change. No test of time either. That's a good point. That's a good point. Jeez. Another Ambushing Strike, I guess. Electric Aurite's not, it's terrible. I don't really want a Thunderstorm Titan. Alright, we'll go with the Ambushing Strike. Okay, there we go. Oh, Test of Time! However, Metabolic Overcharge is pretty nice too. I'm actually going to go with Metabolic Overcharger over Test of Time. I think. $15... I'm at 23. I'm so tempted to check Metabolic Overcharge. Alright, we won't do that. We'll do Test of Time. We'll play the smart thing. Power Spec Armor is interesting. Elf Tracker is nice. Mantle of the Winds. Mantle of the Winds. The cool thing about Mantle of the Winds is I can give this to... let's say I give this to Karthus. Karthus becomes a 3-speed, and I can actually have it... And it's a flying Karthus. So he can go to the support line. But it doesn't do anything else. Like, it gives you 1 speed and allows you to move the support line, that's it. Elf Tracker is going to allow me to kill things, basically. Yeah, the more I say, I agree, Spellweaver. We're thinking along the same lines. I want to try it out just to see what I can do with Mantle of the Winds. Brother in Arms I don't like. I'm going to go with the Wasp Swarm. Do I really? I have 15 creatures, I guess. No, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I have only 15 creatures. I need to draw into silver. I need to draw into another creature because I've got 10 spells already. I've got 3 Ambush Strikes, a Test of Time, Mantle of Winds, Tornado, Landslide, Mind Extortion, Hypnotizing Whispers, Vampirism. I'm gonna go with the Silverblade. You're saying Swarm? I got too many spells. I need more creatures. That's the only reason I'm going with Silverblade. And I'm going with Unicorn for sure. I don't want more than 1 Landslide. Unicorn is huge value. Another Test of Time or another Ambushing Strike. I think I'm going to go with the Ambushing Strike, and I'm going to just... I got 4 Ambush Strikes. It's just going to be elf raining crazy buff. It's going to be awesome. And then Tornado to bounce it, or Silverblade. Gross Experiment. So we didn't choose Implants. Tornado Outbreak. I get another Tornado. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so now we can actually look at Summoner Druid, because we've got some very high-costing cards. Most of our cards cost... look how many 3 and 4 cost cards we have. And they're mostly elves. Well, actually, it doesn't matter for Summoner. So now we can actually look at playing Summoner Druid and then bouncing Summoner Druid back because we've got ways of bouncing. Word of Vigor, select a creature for the nature level, so we're not really too concerned about that. I'm going to go with the Summoner in this case. Alright, so we've got 15 Shrines, we've got 9 Nature, 6 Dominion. 6 Dominion? Oh, that's terrible. Shit, I need 2 for Karthus. I need 2 for Vampirism. I need 2 for Bloodwell. Alright, so this is the last part of Trials, is pay attention to the cards you have, because you can't choose your Shrines. I've only got 6 Dominion, which kind of makes sense, I guess, because most everything I have is Nature, so it kind of does a balance shift. But we only have 6 Dominion Shrines. So we have to make sure that we keep count of them, because we need 2 of them for Lord Karthus, Vampirism, and Bloodwell Matriarch. Yeah, unfortunately, Seven, you don't get to keep the cards you find in Trials. But you can win a ton of... Well, you do, kind of. Because you get to win packs of cards. So whatever cards you get from the packs you do. And of course you get gold as well. So our early game looks like Moon Priestess, Shadow Step Assassin, or Elf Scout Jungle Death Trap. We've got 4 Ambushing Strikes. That's brutal. 2 Tornadoes, 2 Elf Scouts, 2 Haldari Riders. This could be good. I almost hit Leave Trial. That's just a me-ism. I don't know what it is with this GUI, but I always want to go over here and hit Leave Trials instead of Play Game, which is the big center button. Alright. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that.